Welcome back to the Between Realities VR podcast. It is the podcast of your dreams. We never have technical issues on this show.
It's never happened before.
It's never happened.
I'm glad it never will.
And I'm glad that we're so perfect, really.
Right?
Yeah, we are perfect. I'm Alex VR. Alex Meland is my name, by the way, which I explained earlier when we might have had a technical... Okay, maybe we had a technical difficulty today. But I was mentioning how people don't know how to pronounce my name. And Steve was like, I know how. I'm not going to relive the whole conversation. This is messed up. But I'm Alex. This is Skiva. Hi, Skiva.
What's up, man? How are you?
Great.
All right. Good.
Oh, I shouldn't say great. I'm pretty good.
I'm pretty good at you. I was great before that happened, but I'm so happy that our wonderful chat has our back,
dude.
And they were able to inform us that there was
and like,
audio.
You know, I usually like get into chat almost immediately, but like we were just kind of riffing and like going for it, so I didn't glance, and by the time I did, hi everybody, thank you for joining us. It is January 20th 2023, and it's Between Realities, and we're live, and we established that we're doing all right. I'm doing all right.
I'm doing great too.
You're doing great.
Yep. We also established I'm coming down from that high off of CES still with all those amazing people, so many which are probably here in chat right now. Yeah. And yeah.
Where would we be without them? That's what I want to know.
Oh, nowhere, man. They're the fam.
Yeah, they really are.
The VR fam.
They really are. So we were just talking about the CES event that we had, right? The Impact Reality, Between Realities, Upload VR, Q2C VR Gamer, VR with Jasmine Party. And saying how our good buddy Tribe Grey Wolf, who we actually got to spend some quality time with in Meta Horizon Worlds yesterday with Jay Dunn and Joy Rain. We'll dive into that a little bit, and once we get up and running with the show. He was walking around with like super expensive camera equipment and basically got footage of the party that almost looks like a commercial. Like it is like super professional. Like the people in it look like actors, and they're not. They were just there doing stuff. Yeah. So it's really, really awesome, and we're excited to share it. Skiva says it's about 99.9999% done. Done.
We have to make like one quick cut. It was almost, we were planning on showing it today, and but we're gonna do it next week.
Sweet. Okay. And then I wanted to know, and this is I think where we started to realize that there was a problem here. Like this video is going to come out of our party, but like Tribe is making it. Is he like gonna like hand it to you and then we upload it, or is he putting it on his channel? Like
it's going on the Impact Reality channel, which is, you know, just to like give out to our clients and stuff like that, right? Because we you know, we helped front some of the costs for him to do so, and to make the video, because he's way too talented just to like be like, yeah, we can just do this, you know. I mean, and he would have. He was super happy to do so. You know what I mean?
Sweet.
So, but anyway,
well, that's great. There. That's awesome. Can't wait to share it.
Yes.
It's pretty cool, and it'll give everybody a little glimpse, other than the photos that we've seen, of course, of what it was like to be there that night, because I have a feeling we will not be forgetting it.
No.
Anytime soon.
Probably ever.
Probably ever. Yeah, you're right. Because
unless we dwarf it with the next party, which we probably will.
And, well, we definitely will. And I still remember last year's pretty well. You know what I mean?
I do too. Some of our guests this year really made it all that much more special, right? Having Palmer Lucky there, having Alvin Grayling there of HTC, having the CEO of Pimax, and, you know, the writer and director of The Lawnmower Man, and all of these amazing people that came to party and show support for virtual reality and to network and make amazing connections. And it was so special.
It was special, and we'll share a little slice of that specialness with you guys next week, which will be really awesome.
Yep.
Let's take a minute to say hello to everybody in our chat.
Hello.
Hi, chat.
Thanks for saving our butt.
Yeah, they really did. Yep. Imagine if we were recording this.
Oh, I don't have to imagine. We've gone through that. We recorded episodes and had to throw them away. Yes. That's why it's wonderful to do the show live.
Yep. It's pretty funny, you know, and I popped into to the VR boys, Shookhead and Ryan from the
I
popped into their podcast yesterday, I think, last night, and
the virtual boys,
that's it. And when they pulled up their like their clip of the video of like the game that they were going to talk about, and they're talking about Primal Hunt, the video had like super overpowering audio. You know, it's like comes on blasting, like way louder than them, and they had to like read chat to see that we couldn't hear them because the video was too loud. And he even said Like, oh, we got people like Gamertag and VR who watch our show who never have these kind of things happen on their shows. And
everyone does.
Everyone does. That's what I'm getting at for sure. Yeah. So, hey, chat, great to see you. Mike Newton's here. He says The Weeknd, and he's right. Yeah, he always is. He's a smart guy.
He is.
You know that?
Yeah.
He's a smart dude.
He is. He's a good guy.
He's a great guy. Also, one of our loyal Patreons here who we love so very much. Our Patreons and channel members help us considerably to pull this off with minimal technical difficulties and afford equipment that makes it even harder to do the show, but show better. And that's why we love you, and we really appreciate your support. Obscure Nerd VR in the house. What's going on, Andy?
Up,
the homie, I miss you.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate when we had the chance to get on calls and stuff, but like, let's do it in person next time.
Yeah, I was really hoping to see you at CES and at that party, bro.
I know. He was there for the last year's.
He was.
Red/Ace in the house of a channel member. What's up, dude?
Yeah, what's up?
Michelle B. Roy Boy in the house as well. Thank you for being here. Guido7335 chilling in the house. Duckers K, that's right. Michelle B. might have said it already, but I'll say it twice.
She deserves to.
She really does. Jenna Sequa. Hello, Jenna. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hussein X saying you guys are muted. Oh, I'm hitting it now. I'm hitting the Tribe Grey Wolf. What's up, bro? Good to see you, man.
What's up, Tribe?
Getting things done. Can't wait to share about our little experience that we had with you yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Man, time is a weird joke.
It is. It is.
Yep. Everybody telling us we don't have sound. My lovely wife Brittany in the chat.
Do we still not have sound?
No,
we still do.
We do.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going through.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Oh God, Daniel Kaz, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
How's it going?
Classy grandma in the house. No voices, guys. Yeah, we know already. It hurts to read this. Game on Scorpio. Thanks for being here. Game on Scorpio. Roy Boy hit us with the 30 schmeckles. Oh my sweet Roy Boy, 30 schmeckles with no audio. gotta love it. Gamertag VR thinking his volume was down. Nope, we are just getting up and running over here. Amanda Chavan in the house, no sound. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, dear. Chinatown D, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? No, Chinatown D, we probably didn't.
We love you, D.
We do. Hey, by the way, D, I played Blaze Rush. It's awesome.
You did?
I did.
Why didn't you play it with us?
Because my job, my work.
Yeah. Was it your work?
It was my work thing.
Sweet.
We have a weekly VR hangout where each person on the team, we take turns picking a game and the whole team goes in together and plays a game together.
Yes, it's sick.
It's really awesome. It gets everybody like comfortable in the headset because not everybody's VR people like we are.
Right.
You know, they work, maybe they're like a part of the soft goods team where they like design the glove, you know, that kind of stuff. So everybody's getting more comfortable in VR, and I picked Blaze Rush because A, I've always wanted to play it, and B, I knew it would like support a larger amount of people. And it was awesome. Had a really good time. Can't wait to play it again.
Heck yeah, man. I really love that game. It's like Mario Kart with like Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
It is just super fun.
And it is, I would say, out of all, I do a lot of traveling, and so do you. And out of every VR game I play on the plane, that is the most plane friendly, super fun, pass the time by game you can play on an airplane in VR.
There you go. Because there's unlockables, so you can like unlock new characters and stuff.
You can do all kinds of stuff. It's so good. It's just so good.
It is good.
Mm-hmm.
It is good.
One of my favorite games on the Quest.
Yeah, it's great. Blaze Rush. Boom. Get it. Hit us up. Let's play some. D1360 VR. Hey man, good to see you. You know, Jeff Rayner. What's up, bro?
Jeff Rayner. How's it going?
Gotta love Jeff Rayner.
Yeah, he's such a good dude.
Jeff Rayner. Yeah. Zimtalk saying TFIF. Thank Friday? What does that mean? That's the only thing I can think of. Z-Storm in the house. Virtual Strangers. That's Wes. Yes, we love you both. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, wow.
Okay.
Today's guest. Before we start getting into stuff, I want to get our guest on.
Yes.
Because he's been waiting patiently.
For sure.
This guy and I have been following each other for a long time. Like via Facebook, I think is where we connected originally.
Facebook?
And like in the early days of getting up and running with YouTube and all of this stuff, like definitely before Between Realities. And, you know, like us, This is a guy who has started with like streaming and YouTubing and all of that stuff, and then shifted into being an industry professional, right? Which I love, and I'm like constantly trying to help empower people and help them understand that there is so much opportunity in this industry right now, that's kind of all of it takes. So anyway, it's really awesome to now have him join us on Between Realities. And guess who it is from the LIV team? It's King Cosmotron, or Cosmatron maybe. It depends who you ask, right? What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going, guys? How are y'all?
Man, good. Thanks for coming on today, man. It's great to have you.
Man, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Welcome. I know you as King Cosmotron. Maybe some others out there don't know the king part, right? What does that even mean?
Well, I guess you gotta like rewind back in time. We were talking about before air, going back to the COVID era. So if you rewind to 2020, I was actually working in the RV industry. So I actually worked at Airstream of Austin selling Airstreams, which are the big silver travel trailers. I'm sure you guys have seen them on the road before. Yeah, I did that for like almost 5 years. And then when COVID happened, they shut the dealership down. They sent everybody home, and just like every other business around, we weren't sure when we were going to be able to go back, right? And so I remember went home, Googled best ways to make money from home.
No way.
Saw Twitch streaming as like one of the top options, and then essentially just like went down the rabbit hole. Like back in the day, I used to only stream Xbox games, things like Call of Duty, Rocket League, PUBG, things like that. And it was during COVID was the transition when the Xbox Series X and then I think the PlayStation 5 were like coming out. And, throughout my history with all the Xboxes and everything, Xbox 360, Xbox like One, I always would get them like right when they first came out. When that Xbox Series X came out, because of COVID, it was impossible. I couldn't get one anywhere. I was so frustrated. I remember I like had blues about it almost. So I decided to get a Quest 2 to like kind of suppress those blues. And I still remember putting it on for the first time. You like get the welcome. What is it like? What's the welcome game that they do for the Quest 2? I can't remember what it's called. Like
First
Discovery
Steps?
game.
First
Steps. Yes, right. It's like the second I did the First Steps, stacking the blocks in VR, I was hooked. And so immediately
it was the Quest 2?
Quest 2, yeah,
Dude,
Quest 2.
So maybe my timeline is a little wrong, because we started this show before the Quest 2 came out.
We did.
And maybe even in the early days of the Quest 1. Was the Quest 1 out when we started? It's been 3.
It was because I started VR in AZ because of the Quest 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, and I had already started a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so this is making sense. So that surprises me, man. I feel like I've known you forever.
Yeah, it's funny that you guys bring up the Quest 1. I was at Best Buy about to buy a Quest 1, and I was like, I didn't know anything about VR at the time, and I Googled, what's the best VR headset to buy? And they were like, if you're thinking about buying a Quest 1, hold off, because the Quest 2 is about to come out, right? And so I immediately like went home, I got on Amazon, and then I pre-ordered one. I was all excited about it. And then, yeah, sure enough, day it came in, I became hooked. And so immediately I changed my focus of streaming like Xbox games and stuff to streaming, VR. And at the time, I didn't know about LIV at all. I didn't know about mixed reality, streaming, anything like that. So I was just doing first person games like Half-Life Alyx, and Population 1. I was kind of like really addicted to Population 1 for a long time when it first came out.
Dude, who wasn't?
It was really fun to play, and I was kind of like shifting from streaming on Twitch to streaming on Facebook at the time. I remember like there was a big kind of like argument between my friend pool on which was better for a Population 1 streamer or whatever, and everyone was like, come over to Facebook. So I tried streaming on Facebook, and I just really couldn't get into it. For some reason, it was because it was like that's like your social circle, and you don't want to like come across as being like a super gamer nerd. So like I always felt more comfortable on Twitch streaming for whatever reason, if that makes any sense.
We don't want to come across as super gaming nerds either.
No way.
Exactly, right? You know, so at the end of the day, I remember seeing the first like LIV YouTube video. It was for Pistol Whip, and I can't remember like who the creator that produced it was, but it like immediately captivated me. I was like, whoa, wait a second, how the heck is he shooting himself inside of the actual VR game, right? And so, you know, got on Steam, looked up LIV, downloaded the app, and then, you know, they give you the instructions on how to do it, but the like optimization portion of it, like, is where I sort of went down the rabbit hole, if you will. Slowly but surely, the green screen in the room got bigger and bigger.
Yep.
You know, camera equipment, lighting got a little bit more extravagant, and then, you know, I find myself like watching these long tutorial videos from guys like Toge VR, who we'll talk about later on. But yeah, like essentially I, you know, would sell RVs all day long. And then come home, hang out with my wife until she'd go to bed. And then I'd start streaming from about like 10 p.m. to like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning usually. And then I'd wake up and do it, rinse and repeat every single day, right? And so I got super into the mixed reality scope. And so anytime a new game would come out for LIV, I would download it and try it and then post content on Facebook, which is like where we like originally connected. And so yeah, like basically been kind of hitting it hard since 2020. The reason I got with LIV is like the staff actually like reached out to me.
Hold on.
To kind of
pump the brakes here. I don't want to go into that yet. Okay. I almost do. But first, I want to mention this stellar review that just sadly it's Bradley maybe dropped into our chat. Says he can't stick around today, but he's got to say Cosmo is a champion among men. Have a good show, everyone.
Oh, that's my guy right there. I miss him. Yeah, we got to work together like last year a bunch, and yeah, I have the biggest affinity for Bradley. He's a genius.
He is awesome. He came by the Contact CI booth at CES, and he and I got to spend some time together there. It was my first time meeting him in person. It was awesome. We love Brad here, and
yeah, spent some time with him at CES as well. Yeah. And I got to tell you, he is even more amazing in person than you would think he might be from watching his videos. He's like a legit rad guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
Awesome.
He's super cool.
Yeah. He opened my eyes to the like exciting aspects of VR chat that I had no idea even existed.
We should probably do a VR chat tour with him sometime, dude.
Yeah, we absolutely should.
Oh yeah, if you want like the full blown like VIP tour, he is the best guy to go with for sure.
Nice. Yeah, and I mean that's like where he spends his time in VR. So I'm pretty sure he's an expert.
Yeah, I would love to trade tours with him. You know,
we need to
take him through Neos. I know he's been in Neos a bunch, right? But like, he's never been.
I'm sure you could impress him with something. Tigga is in the house.
Are you guys y'all like playing in Neos? Is that what I just heard?
Yeah.
More so than VR chat?
Oh yeah.
I thought you said you've seen this show.
Right?
It's like,
yeah, well, I actually have the same scope. I love Neos too. That's why I was getting at that.
Oh, let's hang out in there. Come on, let's go.
I never have anybody to hang out with.
Let's go.
We love it.
Let's go. Send me a friend request. I'm Skiva and Neos. I know, right?
Yes, he is.
I'm sure you couldn't figure that one out. But
so Bradley's here, or was here anyway. Tigga's in the house. Good to see you. Arcone Lightwave. Oh, please pass my thanks on to the LIV devs for relocating the menu button. Hey. Pass that along.
There you go.
Yeah, that's really good. Mickey Burr.
Mickey
saw you
Burr.
slide in here.
Thank you, Mickey Burr. Love
Mickey
you, dude.
Burr. So, speaking of Neos, we want to take some more friends into Neos because yesterday we actually got a tour.
We did.
But not of Neos. Of Horizon Worlds.
Yes.
And
nice.
If you have been following me for any amount of time, you would probably know that I have never really been impressed with Horizon Worlds. And every time I go in there, I look around, I'm like, why would I spend time in here? This is dumb. And then I leave. But our friends Jay Dunn and Joy Rain, who we had on the show a week ago, right? Was that last week?
Yeah, last week.
A week ago?
Yeah.
We had Jay Dunn and Joy Rain, who are all about Horizon Worlds. Like, they spend tons of time in there. They're world builders. They promote the platform, and I don't think they're getting paid to do so, right?
I don't think so.
No, they just love the platform.
They just love it.
You in Neos.
Yeah, like I don't get paid by Neos.
No,
you know what I mean. But
one day you should.
I should. I probably should. But
yeah, or you should just own it.
Oh
that
God,
would be better.
Oh, my dream.
But we went. Hey, Dark Angel, good to see you, girl.
What's up, Dark Angel?
But we went in Horizon Worlds, and it was pretty fun. I gotta say, like, we had a pretty good time. You know, it really helps when going into any social VR platform. It doesn't matter which one it is, Horizon, Rec Room, VR Chat, Neos, to have a tour guide. Someone who can be like, okay, let me give you an idea as to like the kind of things you can do. Let me show you some exceptional spaces. Let me show you some fun interactions that we can have. And also having that tour guide gives you that community. It gives you that social experience because
and
you're
it's
connecting
social
with
VR.
those people. Exactly. Rather than just like touring these random rooms and like standing awkwardly in a corner and like being afraid to like enter a conversation with people that you don't know. You're going in there with somebody who you've kind of already made contact with, and now you're spending time together. And that really is my biggest takeaway from this experience was like, we spent some quality time with Jay Dunn, Joy Rain, Tribe,
and
Jordy, and of course Skiva and Di. And we went through a handful of different worlds. We did some first-person shooters. We just looked at like some architecture stuff and played a couple of different games like dodgeball. And you know, I mean, I would still rather play Population 1 than go in and play the first-person shooters that live in Horizon Worlds.
Well, sure. Or even in Neos.
Or in Neos. But being able to shift through these experiences somewhat rapidly, keeping everyone together, like it does, I'm starting to see it take shape a little bit in a way that I did not before having this tour with these guys. So thank you so much to Jay Dunn and Joy Rain for taking us in Horizon Worlds and showing us a good time. And
thank you.
Definitely giving me my best Horizon Worlds experiences that I've ever had.
For sure. For sure. It was phenomenal. Hanging out with those guys is great. You know, we all get to bounce around. We saw some beautiful, beautiful Horizon Worlds. And especially Jay Dunn and Joy Rain's worlds that they spent so much time putting together. If you've ever watched their podcast, Get Into the Metaverse, or you've watched Joy in the Morning, we get to see both of those sets in Horizon Worlds, and they were phenomenal, and they just did such a good job, and it was just great. It was a great time, and
I loved headshotting everybody from like, I don't know, a half a mile away.
Good, because I loved being headshotted by
you. Actually, played Horizon Worlds like I think 3 weeks ago. Had like you guys just depicted my story experience through it. I kind of went in like, man, if this is anything like what I've experienced so far, I wasn't really going to like enjoy it. But I actually played that shooter game in there that you're talking about. It was exceptionally fun.
Isn't it?
Even though the graphics aren't like knock your socks off or anything. And like, you know, the character models look kind of weird, but surprisingly it was a ton of fun, and like everyone was just in there laughing, having a good time, and I didn't know anybody. It was just like you meet new friends, and it's like all of a sudden you're just jiving with these brand new people in VR, which is kind of cool.
It is definitely cool.
It's come light years since its launch, right? It's just because the creators in the community are so passionate, and they've done amazing things, and things you wouldn't even think is possible with the quote unquote limitations of Horizons. They've been able to blow past a lot of these things and really make great stuff.
Right. And one of the reasons why I don't like the platform is because I don't like Facebook basically leaning on like the free labor of people that are passionate about VR and the metaverse or whatever to like solve the issues that they have with the platform, you know, like
but really though, that's every single social VR platform.
I guess
the people build everything and go around the limitations in VR Chat and Neos and Rec Room and all of these platforms. Some of them are a little bit
less limited,
but they still all have limitations and big ones at that. So the community is everything.
But think about the parent company here, like billions and billions of dollars, you know, like infinite resources. And I don't know, that's
I do know that Facebook does spend money on building worlds in there, and they have lots of things happening, building all kinds of experiences in there. And
we saw an NBA room that was broadcasting a live game in like 4K on a screen in there, and it looked really good.
Really good.
Really good. Like it like I would not be like, sometimes you like watch a movie like in big screen, it just doesn't look as good as your TV. Like that was really not the case here. Like it looked very, very
phenomenal. Good. I would absolutely go in there and watch a game.
Chris Hanney, Space Pirate. What's up, bro?
What's up, Chris?
Thanks for popping in, man. So yeah, that was really good. And I had somewhere else to go with that. But
I actually was going to say the thing that I kind of like about Horizon Worlds compared to like VR Chat and Neos, if you think about it, is they're going for like this more like humanoid approach versus like the other two that you can be any avatar that you want, right? Like you could be Shrek or you could be Thanos or Iron Man, right? In VR Chat. Whereas like in the Horizon Worlds, you're like kind of making your avatar look almost like your human self. And they do a really good job of making the facial expressions and mouth movements like seem kind of lifelike, I think.
Yeah. Especially when you're on a Quest Pro.
Yeah,
which I haven't experienced yet. Yeah, I know. I can't wait to try that out.
It's legit. I was on a Quest Pro, and J Dunn and Joy Rain were both on Quest Pros, and you can even see in the photos that we took the difference. Like we're looking right into the camera, and Skiva's like staring off at a 45, like off. You know what I mean? Like it is huge, and I was like having fun with like just making different facial expressions in the photos and stuff because that's kind of the freedom. So being able to use their platform with their hardware to get those kinds of interactions definitely makes sense, right? I'm pretty sure this is the only platform that, well, actually, I don't know. There's pretty good face and eye tracking in the other platforms too, right?
There is. I don't know if they support.
I actually can answer that question. So Neos has really good face tracking built into it. Like some of their like custom avatars like already come with it. VR Chat, you actually have to go through extra steps to like mod it into the game, which is the frustrating part.
Which you can get in a lot of trouble for because now there's anti-cheat systems and this and that. But I don't know myself if they have implemented specifically the face and eye tracking from the Meta Quest Pro. I do know I've talked to some people that I believe were working on it. I don't know.
I think Hambone said he was able to get the Meta Quest Pro face tracking and eye tracking working in Neos or something like that.
Well, that's one of the most beautiful things about Neos, right? You're like, oh, the platform doesn't support it? Okay, I'll do it my damn self.
I'll make it support it.
Right? It's
exactly.
like, yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Yeah. So speaking
blows my mind about. Oh, go ahead.
Actually, you overpower me. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. I
was going to say what blows my mind about Neos is the way that you can scale objects and up and down, like as big or as small, like Ant-Man. That is like the trippiest concept I think that VR has to provide is when you start playing with that. It's crazy.
Scale is huge. Yeah,
it is massive.
It's small.
And that is one of the first things. And that is one of the first things that that J Dunn and Joy Rain like went to go to illustrate in their tour, which of course we're familiar with, but I appreciate that that's one of the first things that they try to deliver in their tours because like that is one of the things that's most impressive. Exactly.
Yep.
So to your point earlier, Cosmotron, about avatars and like looking lifelike and stuff, Skiva and I actually just spent a little bit of time in VR Chat together, and that was 2 nights ago. And we had a gentleman by the name of Hugo the Mighty on Between Realities maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. And he is running an actual group exercise gym inside of VR Chat. And,
that's awesome.
You know, we told him we were going to go, and we did. And we did in there. And I logged, like Skiva has his awesome Ready Player Me avatar with like Between Realities logo on his shirt. Like literally looks like him. I don't have anything like that in VR Chat. So I like pop into this exercise room literally as Mario from Mario 64. Like,
oh, I love it.
And then, like, I'm like, okay, I feel a little out of place here. And I think that kind of speaks to your point a little bit there too. But this was a pretty legit workout experience that we had. Like, we went in there, and I would say there's probably 10 to 12 people in our class, which actually kind of surprised me. I was expecting maybe like 5 or 6, but there was like 10 to 12 people in there, and everybody like supported each other and got in there. And Skiva, I have to say this, dude, I am so proud of you for like following through and showing up and doing the damn thing. Yeah, because it has been a while. I mean, it's been a while for me since I've been in shape and exercised, and I was doing it when I met you. Dude. And I know it's been way longer for you, so I have to hear what this experience was like for you.
Dude, this kicked my it really did. This completely destroyed me, but in a good way. You know what I mean? Like I was sweating. I was struggling because I'm out of shape, man. I just am. You know, I don't exercise like I should. And one of the things I want to do this year is really get into things like this and get into some of the fitness applications and really like start taking better care of my body and not work so much, you know, or maybe work, but make sure I get in that exercise, right? And Kugo has put together this incredible program. Incredible, where you go into VR chat, and it's PC VR chat only right now, but you're doing all these exercises and the environments around you are changing, and you're getting on these platforms and taking these giant elevators up with everyone into these new environments, and like swimming across lakes and climbing mountains and just doing all kinds of wild things. And it really got me going. I felt great afterwards, and then the next day I was really, really sore.
Are you still sore? I'm still sore.
I am a little bit sore. I literally felt muscles that day that hurt that I forgot even existed. I really did. This is not a joke.
No.
This is very much a gym. You don't have the equipment, but you have a personal trainer giving you all kinds of exercises to do, showing you how to properly do them in full body tracking. And you don't need full body tracking, right? But he has it so he can show you how to properly execute all these exercises.
And he can tell whether or not you're doing it right. Like, even though you're like contorted on the floor and like your controllers are like sitting over there, like you can like see based on like your head movement and stuff if you're hitting it properly. Like we were doing these like side planks for your obliques, which were actually pretty tough for me. I've never
those were so hard.
Those are hard.
Those are always hard.
Oh,
those were pretty tough. And I remember like kind of coming down. He comes by, he's like, come on, you know, like get it up there. I'm like, ugh, you know, like it really did feel like a class with a trainer, you know, like I've done classes
and
like
it was.
that. And it was. And it really was. So
what headsets were you guys using?
I used my Quest 2 on virtual desktop.
I did too, because I wanted to be wireless, right? I could have, you know, used my Index or a number of different headsets and got in there and did that. But I like, for things like this, I like being able to use the Quest 2 wirelessly and use the Bobo VR batteries. Yeah, that's huge, right? So you don't run out of power, because streaming PC VR does drain your battery way faster. So, you know, I was able to make sure that wasn't an issue, and it was great. It was a great experience.
So slight spoilers for this experience, okay? Like if you're like literally thinking about getting in there and trying this out, maybe don't listen to the next 60 seconds. But there's a scene which I really need to hear what you thought of it, where you start and you're like in an actual gym, you know, it's like a virtual gym, and you're like looking around, there's like equipment everywhere. And we like do like a running in place exercise for 60 seconds to get the heart rate up, you know, and we're like, okay, sweet, like gym space. And then Q goes like, this ain't it. You think this is the mighty gym? Think again. And then he spawns a bunch of sledgehammers and he's like, let's smash this fitness equipment. And we like ran around like smashing like the bench presses and like smashing all the equipment and stuff. And I was thinking to myself, you must have been loving
I loved that. That was by far one of my favorite parts of that was destroying all the gym equipment, bashing it with sledgehammers, pieces flying everywhere, right? And then like it's tracking your score. And like, you know, you're actually running around, you're bashing things, you are getting your heart rate up a little bit. This is all just warm-up stuff. Yep. You know what I mean? Before you really dive into it. But oh my God, it was so good.
I think it was a really good start for us, dude. Like whether we go back into the mighty gym or we, you know, start doing supernatural, or we do like a blend of a bunch of different things, I really do think that we can actually leverage VR to get our stuff together and like get in better shape, you know. So if you're down, I'm definitely down to keep pushing.
I think I would be too. It hurts, but you know, everything good comes with a little pain, right? And it's affordable. You know, if you go to the gym and you buy, you know, or you enlist the services of a personal trainer, that gets expensive. If you go twice a week to the mighty gym, it costs you $3.75 a class.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Chump change.
That is. I mean, for your health, if you're going to go to the gym, you could literally replace the gym with this, unless you're into like weight training, right? But if you're just looking to get fit, you know, you want to work your cardio, your core strength, stuff like that.
And did it not push you past what you're normally comfortable doing? Like, absolutely. There's no way we would have pushed ourselves that hard if we didn't do something like that.
Right. So no way. There's no way. I can't think of an experience in VR that could have possibly had nailed specific muscles, really had someone motivating you and making sure you knew how to do things properly, you know, and have a good time and kind of gamify things, right? I mean, it was good.
It was good. CreeperBetty's good. Hi, CreeperBetty.
What's up, CreeperBetty?
Thanks for being here. And
Hey.
Paul from the VR realm. Dude.
Hey, what's up, Paul?
Man? Good to
How
see
are you?
So, Cosmotron, have you done any like fitness stuff in VR? Have you considered leveraging VR for exercise and stuff like that?
Yeah, so obviously with LIV, there's two games that come to mind specifically that I will recommend to anybody if you're trying to like burn calories and like bust a sweat. Now, for me personally, I still haven't gotten the past like the feeling that I don't like getting all the sweatiness and grossness into my headset. Like, because man, like if you start really working out in VR, you really start dripping. I'm like a sweaty guy when I work out, and so like I almost feel like I'm gonna ruin my headset when I do it. But the two games that will like wear you out is Pistol Whip. Like Pistol Whip, because of like the movement that you have to do stepping side to side, especially if you like put it on hard mode. I mean, I think somebody did like a experiment where they tracked how many calories they burned doing it. But that game will wear you out. And then
I love playing that. I love Pistol Whip, and I love using it for fitness and getting your heart rate up and doing, you know, and using it just for that. It's super fun, and it really does burn some calories. Not Mighty Gym calories,
no,
but it really does.
Because the intention isn't to burn calories. Like it's like a fun byproduct of enjoying this game. Right. But there's no way you're getting to that heart rate that you get.
Right. Nothing comes close to, and this game, like I would be willing to bet if you played it every day for like a month, you'd probably be in totally good shape. Is thrill of the fight. If you play it on normal mode, it's an absolute like gut-wrenching workout. In fact, like one of my good friends, Red Legend, I'm not sure if you guys know him or
we
not.
know him.
He's really, he's awesome mixed reality streamer. He actually live streams Thrill of the Fright on like Friday nights, and he actually has to put it on easy mode, being a big dude, because it wears him out so much.
It does,
and,
it will wreck you.
It's the training exercises and everything, piece of cake, easy, like hitting the punching bag. It's once you actually get in the ring and you do the campaign, it's like after you get after that second fighter, the fighters they put you up against, I mean,
they don't go down.
You gotta hit him so many times too.
You gotta hit him hard.
Like, yeah, exactly, and you gotta dodge him too, you know. And so that boxing mechanic, it wears you out. So that gets my vote for best workout game for sure.
Those are great recommendations, you know. And I mean, I did like a free trial of Supernatural, and that is also no joke. Like, it is no joke. A half hour of Supernatural crushed me. Like similar to the feeling that I had when I did the Mighty Gym. Like, Mighty Gym is a little different because it's like more traditional exercises. Like you're doing the kinds of exercises that people who exercise do. But Supernatural will crush you. And the cool thing about it that I like is that it has dynamic difficulty. So like if you really start running out of gas, it'll like dial you back a little bit. And if you're just like dominating, it's like, okay, well, this guy can handle more. Let's push it. So that's like kind of this ebb and flow with Supernatural's approach. And like we all, like when this game was coming out, we were like, everyone was like, there's no way this game's gonna make it. Like subscription based, Beat Saber clone, like yeah, right. And here we are years later, and it's still like ping, like way up there for a lot of people. So I have to I have to recommend this one too.
True. I do want to get into this. You know, I still to this day haven't even tried this game.
It's intense.
You know, it turns me off because I don't want to, you know, I know there's a trial, but like I don't want to put in my credit card and then have to like cancel it you know, for something that, you know, I don't know if I'm really going to want to do. But I would definitely like to try it, and I would like to support Kugo the Mighty with the Mighty Gym, because I think VR fitness is a huge thing. And I do have to say, I get what you're saying, Cosmatron, about you know, sweat and stuff, right? And I put, you know, working out in your headsets, it concerns me too, because I take very good care of my equipment, even though I go through indexes.
Even though
like
you pour coffee.
Even though I pour coffee into things and I go through index controllers like I go through underwear. But but you know, I definitely was careful by putting on headbands, right? And then under that, you know, I had you know, VR cover stuff on my headset, and like I made sure that I tried to do as much sweat control as possible immediately after I threw my VR covers in the wash machine, you know, dry, nice and fresh, ready to go.
Here's the other
Get
thing.
it all clean.
Here's the other thing. You know, like you could have been afraid to sweat in your Quest 1. Right. But then it got replaced by a Quest 2, and now your Quest 1 just sits there.
Right.
It's kind of the same with the Quest 2 at this point. You know, like Quest 3s are coming around the corner. Like this tech is only going to be like actually like viable and used by you regularly for a period of time. It's kind of like how I feel about my cell phones these days. You know, like I used to like be so concerned about the shape of my cell phone and like make sure it's in like an outer box and like taken care of. But like after a while, I've started to realize that like this thing is only going to last as long as I have it, and I'm going to upgrade and get into something else. So might as well like use it to the fullest and like maybe let it get a little bit gross because you're going to replace this thing, you know?
No, this is true. But you know, I do, you know, I like to collect headsets, as you can see over there, and I do like to keep them in good condition. But you can do that if you do things properly. If you use, you know, even like Kiwi facial interfaces, VR cover, and what I do is I use the pleather Kiwi and VR chat interfaces, but then on top of it I have the VR cover cloth ones that go over it, so your skin can breathe better, you don't sweat as bad, and then you can take those and throw them in the washing machine and wash them and dry them. So
I have this theory that if you have an original Oculus Quest before it became the Meta Quest, that it'll be worth more money in the future, like as a relic.
Sure,
like,
and I think the Quest 1 will absolutely too.
I'm excited that I like have the original and have been able to keep it nice all this time, including the Elite strap too, which everybody that got that Elite strap, theirs broke right out the gate. I still have the OG one. Still doing great.
That Elite strap will never be worth anything. All right. You might as well just put it in the trash, because no one's ever going to care about your Elite strap, but they will care about the Quest.
Never let anyone use it except for myself. That's been my secret. So like I'll take it off and put the crappy old one back on if I have to.
And I used to use that Elite strap and it broke 4 times, but you know, to Meta's credit, they replaced it every time without ever giving me any hard times.
That is nice.
Right? And then eventually Bobo happened and I never wanted another strap again. You know, so
on my Quest 1 I have, you know, the Oculus Quest 1. I'm happy to have it as a relic as well. However, it is worn. Like I have like VR cover back piece that's like rubbed on the head straps a million times, and I've sweat gallons of Beat Saber sweat into that thing. Because when the Quest 2 came out, that became my workout headset.
Beat Saber sweat.
So one more thing I want to dive into, and then we're going to continue the Cosmotron story. And I just want to do, I don't know, maybe like a eulogy for Altspace VR, you know, which I guess it's not dead yet, but like it's terminally
dying, man.
And it's over, you know, like at this point
it is dying.
Altspace VR has announced today, and wow, we sound like we're a news podcast now. This is pretty exciting. They announced today that they are shutting down the platform on March 10th, 2023. Rest in peace, Altspace VR, arguably the best place to hold a large-scale event in virtual reality. They're closing the doors.
Wow.
Yeah, this is true. You know, I got this email this morning. It was super, super sad. You know, and this was, I have a lot of good experiences in Altspace. It is not the most impressive place to go, but there are really cool worlds in there, really beautiful worlds. You can upload things in Unity as long as they're well optimized. But, you know, Microsoft bought this and then just let it die. You know, they give it very little support, very little promotion, but this was the platform to host events because it had the best event system. You could schedule events, you could set reminders, you could it was a great way to get community together and to do different types of things. And no other VR platform, social VR platform, has nailed their event system. Right.
Yeah, you could have like 100 people attend an event, and it would like keep making extra instances to support people.
And there was this calendaring system, and you could browse through events, and like it was really pretty awesome, you know. And they did upgrade it a little. They brought in new avatars, but they just didn't give it the love that it needed. They didn't really take it forward as a platform and do a ton of innovative things. And they could have with Microsoft's backing, but you know, Microsoft just kind of bought it, stuck it in their pocket, and then forgot it was in there and threw it in the wash, and it died.
You have anything to say about this, Cosmotron?
So obviously I can tell you from, you know, being in VR for as long as I have now, that it's a very cutthroat world, especially from the business side. It's also a very difficult industry to be like successful in, right? And like without like diving like into the specifics, it's just like we need more quality services like that in the VR space, right? And so we're kind of like in this really cool Wild West period where like we get to be the pioneers in that space, which is what I think is really, really cool. But it's definitely sad to hear that, you know, something that's been the go-to for getting people together in VR shutting down. My thought process is that even if it shuts down, there's still going to be a big need for it, and that's going to only increase moving forward. So someone else is going to step up and kind of fill in that niche.
Yeah, you know, something that crossed my mind when you were talking about your like initial journey into streaming on Twitch and stuff, playing games like Rocket League and you know, whatever else you said. I don't know. You said some popular games, you know.
I think like Call of Duty, PUBG, like the main
those are
shooters.
games that have like millions and millions and millions of players, not just players, but arguably maybe a million content creators too, right? So there's this like weird kind of like balance of like playing a popular game means it's popular, so people want to see it, but you have way more competition as a streamer to hold someone's attention because there's a way wider pool of creators to watch versus VR stuff having less of a pool of creators, but that now making you more viable and giving you more opportunity, you know? So it's this interesting kind of space because like, it's almost like both can work and both cannot work depending on, I don't know, I guess how good you are and whether or not you're lucky, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'll give you an example of how they just dropped the ball in marketing on this. Before the show, I wanted just to grab an Altspace trailer just to play for background stuff, right? And there was, I searched high and low. There weren't any. There's trailers from way back, like pre the newer avatars. Yeah. And that's it. They couldn't even be bothered to make like any decent promotional material for this thing. You know, it's just so sad to me. It's so sad because I've hung out with great people in there, had great times, seen some amazing worlds, and you know, went to the VR awards for the first time inside of Altspace and had a fantastic time in there. Just a lot of great memories.
I definitely have some good memories in there too. You know, attending the Failed to Render Comedy Club, going to Dreamland XR during COVID times. You know, like I did red carpet interviews in front of a step and repeat in Altspace when we couldn't go to CES. You know, like it was cool, man.
Let's pour out some
do you guys know 40s. What the largest user count was that you guys got to, like how many people they were able to get together in VR at one time? I mean,
a lot, but it was all instance based, right? So I remember going in for the VR awards and there was a lot of people in there, but it was like, you know, 25, 30 people per instance. So like my friends were in the same room, but I couldn't see them all.
Well, didn't they host Burning Man in Altspace?
Yeah, they did. Every year they had. Every year they did. And it was a great world. It was fantastic.
That's crazy.
Very well done.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And now Burning Man, if they want to have like a metaverse version of it, like, I don't know, where do they go?
Well, I mean, they can go to VR chat, they can go to Rec Room, they can go to Neos. I mean, Neos is hard because it's PC VR only, right? But, you know, all of this stuff is evolving. They could host it in any of these, and eventually Neos will be supported as well on some of the mobile platforms.
That cannot happen soon enough, dude.
I know, I agree.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Once it does, game over, everyone else.
Yep. All right. So I'm ready to move into the second chapter now of the Cosmotron story, right? So you explained how you kind of got up and running. You know, you used to be in RV sales, and then COVID happened, and you're streaming, and you're getting into mixed reality. So you start getting in there, and then you're like really dialing in your mixed reality, and you're in their Discord, and then what happens?
So in my trip down the rabbit hole, I came across the Vive trackers and full body tracking, and it was actually spawned out of my experience that I had in Neos. I remember I was like just world hopping by myself, and I saw somebody in full body tracking in their avatar for the first time, and like blew my mind.
It is crazy.
Like, Yeah, I remember like whoever it was like sitting on a couch, and I was like, "Hey, how are you moving like that?" And they're like, "I got trackers on." I was like, "Really? Can you get up and let me see?" And when you see that for the first time in like VR, it kind of like takes it to like a whole new level. And so I was like, "All right, I gotta get a set of trackers for myself, right?" And so at that time, I had the Quest 2. I'm like looking at the tracker setup, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so expensive to get all of this equipment." And so like what I did was I basically piggy banked it, all of my side cash that I earned over the course of like 4 months. I saved up and I got like the Valve Index and all the trackers, everything. And then I started doing like LIV avatar, full body like characters and like posting clips and stuff. And so that's when the staff like reached out to me. They kind of like were asking how I went about my setup, everything, got some LIV diagnostic reports from me. And that's, kind of what opened up the channel with them. And, a couple months later, they asked for my resume. And then next thing you know, I interviewed with them and got the position of director of partnerships. So yeah, basically what I do is I help game developers understand and load our SDK into their game. That way they can use LIV and help them do that. So basically in a nutshell, that's what I do.
That is awesome. So I mean, I don't know about you, but like leading up to the time where I started getting involved in all this stuff, it almost kind of seemed like a pipe dream to me to like have a career that was like around games and tech and virtual reality and all of this stuff. And I always had this like thing in the back of my head saying like, yeah, you're capable of doing all of these things, and for whatever reason, like none of it really came to fruition. And I'm curious, like, what's this experience been like for you, shifting from being in RV sales to now being the director of partnerships at LIV? Like, can you relate to like my sentiments there? Like, do you feel that way about this?
Absolutely. So like for starters, it's a whirlwind. I mean, I started in April of last year. So coming up like on my 1 year anniversary here in a couple months, right? It literally feels like it's gone by in a blink of an eye. Like in that time period, I've got to travel overseas to TwitchCon in Amsterdam. I got to go to Miami for the Veil tournament. Got to do all these wonderful things I never would have in my wildest dreams, like got to experience what I was doing before. So completely thankful for that. Like I exist as like a sales rep within a world full of engineers. And so that's been the most humbling experience, is knowing that like there's so many people that are so much more talented than I am in this industry, and that like I have to just like learn and grow every single day to get better, right? Like, so I've been so blessed to like have so many like great people show me the ropes, show me how things work, help me like in the hard times where like I might not know how to do stuff. That's all been wonderful. The best part about it is, I'm a gamer like since day one, and like I literally get to work in the gaming industry. Like I contact game developers, I get to work with them side by side. And so like literally I've got to meet so many cool people, got to like connect with so many different influencers and content creators. It's been an absolute dream come true. It's very intimidating. Don't get me wrong. Like by all means, I always feel like I'm at the bottom of the totem pole compared to like a lot of the amazing people in the industry. It's an honor to actually be here on the show with you guys. I mean, I didn't see myself sitting in this chair, but here we are. I love it. So yeah, but I'm also really excited about some of the cool stuff that we're working on for like the next chapter of LIV. And so I'll talk to you guys about that here in a minute.
Well, that sounds good. Yeah, because we definitely want to know more about what LIV is doing. But, I want to go back to what you said about, being surrounded by people who are like way more talented than you. Mm-hmm. I think this is like a common like perspective that people have, when they see people doing things that they basically cannot wrap their head around. Like when I realized I want to get involved in like the gaming world, I thought I would need to be a developer to do so. I was like, oh, I guess I need to learn how to write code now,
Exactly.
So I started trying to learn how to write code and realized that that's literally like learning a second language. And it is not easy to do.
Nope.
No.
And it took me a minute, but then I started to understand that I do have skills. Like there are things that I can bring to the table outside of being a developer or an engineer that is needed. you know, like your ability to like chat with people, to connect, to help people understand the product, like all of that stuff. Those are things that the people who make the things are not always capable of doing. So that's why you have teams. That's why you have a sales team. That's why you have an engineering team, and then just why you have a product team, because everyone, if they're being their true authentic selves and bringing everything they can to the table, is bringing something different to the table. So it's important to remember that you're actually able, in my experience anyway, and from the evidence that I can see around me, lean into kind of what comes naturally to you. And don't worry about comparing yourself to the other people at the company, because you have something, you know, and it's not just you, Cosmotron. I'm talking to anybody who's listening to this right now. Like, I thought I needed to be a developer to get involved, and it turns out you don't. You just need to really care, try really hard, and do whatever you can to support it and make it better. And you'll find yourself in a position that suits you, like director of partnerships, you know, or I'm strategic partnerships manager at Context CI. And, you know, Skiva's found himself in awesome positions for himself, and even started his own company now after getting involved with everything. So the opportunities are out there, people, you know, and that's something that I just really want to drive home, because the VR space is still in its infancy. You know, it's not a baby anymore, but it's still in its infancy, and there's so much opportunity.
And it needs as many passionate, amazing people to help move it forward as possible. You don't have to be a developer, like Alex said. Every one of these studios, it's also a business. They make games. They have to sell games in order to survive, and to make better games, they need things like human resources. They need business people. They need salespeople. They need IT work. They need all of this stuff. All of the things you do for other companies, you can do for a game company, right? And support the industry that you love. You know, I mean, people that sell houses don't go, oh, well, I could never get into that because I don't know how to build a house. You know what I mean? That's like, that's not like your skill set can fit into so many of these different scenarios.
And it doesn't have to be VR, right? Like maybe you're listening to this and VR is like your side hobby, but what you're super into is, I don't know, drones or whatever. I don't know, fishing or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like whatever it is that you're actually passionate about, those people need you. Right? Because good people are hard to come by. So be a good person and go and get after it, because it's out there. Like here we are. We're evidence. All three of us. And we're like, you know what? I want to be involved in that space, and we went and we got it. And there's still opportunity there. So let's go people. Come and join us.
Industry's only getting bigger and bigger every day.
Yep.
And it is. And then one other comment to mention how you were saying that you're intimidated to work with some of these people that you feel like maybe you're not as skilled as, or whatever the case may be. It is the best possible life practice in order to hang around with and be around the people that you want to be like as much as possible. If you want to be successful and you hang out with successful people, I know this sounds like a parent talking to their kids, but for real, you will by almost osmosis end up being like the people you hang out with. You just will. So if you want to be successful and you want to do something in gaming, or you want to just do whatever, hang out with those people.
What's that saying? Like, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah, that is a fact. That is a fact. You should not be in that room. You should be hanging out with the people that are better than you, because then you will rise through that.
So Cosmotron, what are the people who are better than you doing at LIV right now? That's what I want to know.
Well, I guess I misspoke. What I meant is that, like, we obviously are on the cusp of building something really, really exciting, right? And that is an engineer's role. My role is actually kind of separate from that, where like I sell the sizzle, not the steak, if you will. So basically it's like you guys talked about, working with other departments, like learning how to communicate through those roles and be a team is like the greatest skill set that like working at LIV is like taught me, and what I love the most about it. So I guess I sort of misspoke when I said that. Literally all I meant was that my engineers that I worked with, they're like some of the smartest people on planet Earth, and to like comprehend the math and some of the science that they do on a day-to-day basis, it's kind of like a pleasure for me to sit there and watch it, but I have no clue what they're doing. If that makes any sense.
I can relate 1,000,000%, bro. Like, this is all wizardry to me. Like, I still barely understand it. Like, I don't even know how I don't know how anything works. So I feel you.
So I say hi to VR Central in the chat here, who we got to hang out with at the party as well. And funny story, you know, part of the issue with making this video for this party was all of this footage where like we see Genghis VR's face and we see Thrill Seeker's face and we see VR Central's face, and chopping all these parts and not being able, and then having to go in and blur things and all these little clips because all of these people need to hide their face. Lose
the gimmicks. Lose the gimmicks, people. All right, just take the googlies, take the mask off. All right, take the glasses off, guys. All right, we're over it. Okay, no one cares anymore. No, I'm just kidding. We care. You can keep your gimmicks.
Wanted to say hi to Wise Director VR Central in the chat, as well as many amazing people in here.
Yeah, Daniel Kaz chilling, and yeah, thank you guys. So, all right, so well, what can you share with us then? Tell us a little bit about that sizzle that you're selling.
That sizzle that we're selling. Well, obviously last year we realized that there was a growing need for professional video production in the VR gaming landscape. So a lot of the game developers that we come into contact with, they haven't even produced their like initial game trailer. So we decided that it was a good time to go ahead and launch our official studio, which is our LIV in-house productions. So we actually have two separate branches of it. I mentioned him earlier, but we have Toge VR. He actually is in charge of the mixed reality branch. And then for like first person creative storytelling videos, we actually have Demo Akuro, who you guys have probably heard of as well.
Dude, his stuff is so good.
Toge, both of those guys are
I want to get him on our show at some point. Yeah.
Oh,
they're both so good.
I know both of them would love to chat with you guys anytime. So
we've had Toge on before. Love to have him on, but love to have him on. He is the gold standard of mixed reality. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Absolutely the best.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm really, really excited. Like we already got a couple of productions under our belt at the end of last year. So we're officially rolling it out this year, and we've got a lot of cool projects like already in the works, everything. So I'm super excited to kind of like be a part of finding game developers that want to work with us on this. So it's a really exciting venture that, you know, it's only going to be better and better as time goes on, because we're going to get more great film projects under our belt.
That's great. And you know, VR Central saying he hasn't seen you since Miami. You were at that Vail event, that VR esports, and you were there in cosplay, weren't you?
That's correct. Yes. Yeah. I basically built that costume from scratch. It was kind of like a love project. Took me about 3 months to make it. My mother, who's a seamstress, actually like hand sewed like artificial leather all together. Wow. I fell in love with Vail right from the start and created an esports team with some like random guys from all over the country. We were called the Pink Misters, and I actually still have the team all together and everything. We actually competed in the Vail tournament and got eliminated in semifinals, which sucked, but obviously I still got to go for LIV, and we did a booth there for promotion, which was a blast. And yeah, I got to dress up as the colonist, which is the white team in Vail, and like have the full get up with the AK-47, the whole 9 yards. It was great.
Sweet.
Man, Vail is so good. It's so good. It's like great. Such a great competitive shooter. It has such cool gun physics. Like it's amazing. It's really, really good. And there's amazing people working on that project, and
big time.
I just hope it succeeds. And we were playing this video kind of in the background a little bit, that it's a more of a cinematic style video from the creator, not Toge, but
Demo.
Yes.
Demo.
Yes. And he's amazing. He does some really, really cool stuff, right? Like he goes in and he tells a complete story in these games with full actors and cinematic shots, and like what a cool tool to be able to use for this, because
absolutely,
you know, the shots he uses, I'm always like, how did he do this?
I know,
like
this stuff
how did he pull this off?
It's
like,
so smooth.
Yeah.
And like
I actually was an extra in that video, so I'm one of the soldiers that gets murdered like 5 times in that video. So yeah, it was a blast. It was a blast to make. We had a great time, and yeah, Demo again, who runs that side of our production studio, does amazing work. And then we have Toge and his crew over on the other side. They do phenomenal work, and so really, really excited to, you know, be a part of the new project and kind of get it up and off the ground. So obviously, if you guys know anybody that's like looking for, you know, professional video services, we're in the game now, so we're ready to go.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds great. And you know, we had Adam Bombati on the show earlier in this season, and she was talking to us. Oh yeah, She's the best.
Phenomenal person.
She really
Absolutely
is the
amazing.
best. Yeah,
Yep.
she's awesome.
She's great.
She's so great. She shows up at every event, and we always hang out with her.
Yeah, she's family.
Yeah,
she's
really
like legitimately family. She's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's like, I don't know, she's like a sister. You know?
Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
Yeah, she kind of does have that. She's like a sister vibe to her, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's awesome. And she also came by the Contact CI booth. It was great to see her at CES as well. But when she was on, she was talking to us a little bit about this like volumetric capture stuff that LIV has been working on. And I think very recently, like today or yesterday or something, shared a tweet showing off a little bit of what is going on that side. And I'm wondering if you're able to speak at all to what this tweet was. And we're going to pull it up and show everybody right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, obviously, I can't dive into too much of the details because it's still early. But what I can tell you is that we're spending most of our time today working on a dedicated camera and messaging tech for VR specifically. The idea here is we want it to be super easy for any user to be able to take a picture, record a video, stream yourself, and then call your friends with a holographic sort of image, and regardless of what device that you're on. And so when I was kind of talking about how my engineers are brilliant, watching them work on this from the ground up is like one of the like coolest things that I get to like witness every single day. And the stuff that they're doing is absolutely mind-blowing, amazing, could be a game changer. If you want to kind of like see what it looks like, obviously just head to our Twitter page. You guys, I think, are showing it right now, so we can check it out there. But yeah, really exciting stuff, and yeah, I can't wait to see like what the next year brings, because it's going to be fun.
So it's almost like a full 3D like selfie video while you're in the game, right? And you can like take that thing and then send it to people. I mean,
absolutely. So the way that I kind of like break it down is think of a snow globe, if you will, right? Like a snow globe's got like the little scene on the inside of the middle of it. If you were to like hold it in your hand and look at it, you'd be able to kind of look at it from all different angles. So kind of like think of that geometry, that science, if you will, and then just add the creativity flair where you can create these scenes within your favorite games, right? And then message your friends. This concept really kind of plays true in a lot of different like sci-fi movies that we see. So like think about Star Wars, where you got Princess Leia coming out of R2-D2, help me Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope, right? That's like a form of hologram. So the idea is that we can bring that to the table with this new technology. So that's all kind of dive into the new stuff there. But yeah, all really exciting stuff that it's only going to get cooler and cooler as time goes on. And yeah, what a great time to be in the VR landscape.
Heck yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's any secret that me and Alex are huge fans of LIV and what they're doing, because you can't properly show VR to people unless you put them in VR, and LIV is the closest thing you can get, right? With being able to show what it looks like to be in the game, with showing really good, nice, stable, clean footage from first person, and all of these different ways that LIV's able to make VR footage look incredible.
Yep. Yeah, there are worse companies to be involved in. Yep. Like we're just saying how great Adam is, and she's been involved with LIV for a long time. You guys even got Bradley for a little while, and he's like, the king of hardware in the VR space now. So yeah, good for you, man. LIV is awesome, and we'll definitely be following, and can't wait till you're able to share some more details with us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We definitely got to keep in touch. This has been an absolute pleasure visiting with you guys today.
Well, I'm going to give you one more chance before we pull the plug on it to bring anything up. Is there anything that you've been thinking about that we haven't been able to get to yet? Something, I know we've probably exhausted what we're able to talk about with LIV, but if there's something about LIV that you want to bring up, feel free. Maybe anything at all. You know what I mean? I just want to give you a chance to kind of take us down one last path before we call it.
Sure. Well, I mean, like, I think anybody can like relate that the gaming industry seems to just be like getting cooler and cooler, like, and it's at like this like exponentially fast rate now, right? Like if you look at console games like God of War or Elden Ring and everything, the experiences are just getting more and more immersive. Same thing translates to VR. You sort of have this like weird niche market in the PC VR VR landscape, that it's like made up of all of these enthusiasts, if you will, that like want to chase that like premium experience. And then you kind of have this friction of like the standalone style of VR, where it's like accessible to everything, right? And so I think like what the name of the game is getting that like premium PC VR experience down to that like simple, like very inexpensive price tag that like more and more people are going to enjoy. And so like I'm curious, did you guys get to try the PlayStation 2 VR when y'all were at CES? I haven't gotten my hands on one yet. I was curious on like what the experience was with that.
I've tried it,
like I'm pretty excited about it.
I got to try it quite a few times. I mean, not quite a few times, but 2 times. But I got to play Horizon Call of the Mountain at CES, which was absolutely one of the most beautiful technical marvels I've ever seen in VR. I mean, I looked like an idiot with my jaw on the floor the entire time I was playing. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. You know, It looked absolutely incredible. I've played Demio on there, which Demio was amazing, right? And that was a great showcase of the HDR screens, because Demio has so many dark scenes with the blacks, and then so many of the bright things happening, and like it was phenomenal. And the controllers are amazing. The eye tracking and the dynamic foveated rendering is going to take this to a new level. You know, the facial haptics, incredible. I have nothing but good things to say about the PSVR 2, and I think it's going to give people an amazing experience. It's going to take a little time for all of these titles to start showing up, just like the PSVR 1. We weren't like inundated with amazing titles right out of the gate, but it got there.
But how about that list they just shared?
Oh my goodness.
It's pretty legit.
It really is. So we have some launch titles here that were announced for the game lineup for, you know, everything coming up. And there's so many good things. There's so many good things on here. You know, from After the Fall, you know, the complete edition, to, you know, NFL Pro Era, and you know, The Walking Dead, Saints Sinners Chapter 2, No Man's Sky, and Gran Turismo 7. How huge is that? That's a big one. Horizon Call of the Mountain, we already talked about. You know, some classics like Alchemy Labs, Vacation Simulator and Job Simulator, and Cosmonius High, you know, Cities VR, both Moss books. This is really a killer. Like Mirage, this is so cool because people have not been able to experience Kayak VR Mirage that don't have like a really killer VR setup. And if they did, maybe the graphics weren't where they should be, and maybe they didn't get the full effect. You know, if you got like a really beefy graphics card, you know what I'm talking about. But this is one of the most beautiful experiences you'll ever see. And now
it's live compatible, by the way, too.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's good stuff.
I love that game. It is absolutely gorgeous. Definitely one of the coolest. Did you guys do the Christmas edition download too, where you got to like be all the Christmas lights in Antarctica and stuff?
No, I didn't. Dang it! I didn't even know that was
amazing.
A thing.
Yeah.
Oh man!
Download patch they had for a while. Yeah, it was great.
I wish I did that, because I really love that. Like I could just go in there and just sit there, just paddle to somewhere in like Costa Rica, and like go into the jungle and just sit there, listen to the wildlife, watch the sun beam through the trees.
Yeah,
like
the water and graphics, the like lighting in that game is hands down one of the coolest VR experiences.
It's really good. Yeah. And you know what? One thing that I was really taken aback by is the fact that there are multiple PlayStation VR titles that are giving you free upgrades to the PlayStation 5 version. Like way more than I was expecting already. And I think that might even set like a, I don't know, like a precedence or something, you know. It's like, oh, you're not giving the free upgrade, you know, like what's wrong with you? Give it to your longtime supporters, the people who've already bought this game.
You should.
Don't make them buy it twice.
Which is one of my issues with PolyArc right now. Like they're charging for Moss again.
Oh, that's not it's not an upgrade?
No, from at least that's what it was announced originally, which I was very surprised, because who's going to buy Moss a second time or a third time, right? Because it's on so many platforms. Just let people play it again if they want to.
Right.
You know, it's a little weird. But, you know, a good majority of these games are giving you the you know, the upgrade.
Well, Moss 2, and I know, I don't know about Moss 1, but I know at very least Moss 2 is getting like a visual overhaul for the PlayStation 5 version. Yeah. So
it won game of the year at the Gaming Awards for VR Game of the Year.
That is worth mentioning.
Yep.
It's worth
absolutely
mentioning. And like, what about Beat Saber? Like, do I get that for free?
I doubt it.
I doubt it, right?
I doubt it.
But like the Kings are like, no, screw you. You're buying it. Like, you're gonna want it. You're gonna buy it.
I mean, I think everyone expects that from a company like Meta that doesn't truly care about their people, right? but you know, a smaller studio like Polyarch, I was just a little surprised. That's all.
Yeah. Well, let's lean into them a little bit. Be like, hey, y'all, come on.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Give this to your peeps.
Don't poop on your fans.
Yeah, come on.
Don't do that.
Give it to them.
Don't do that. Yeah.
You know what experience I had last week in VR that kind of blew my mind, and I heard you guys say Gamertag was in the chat earlier. He had been posting his videos of MUVR on Twitter and his page. Have you guys got to try it yet?
I want to really bad.
90s bedroom.
I want to really bad. I've been eyeballing that for a long time and just haven't gotten in there yet.
I have.
It is so cool. It is literally so cool. Like you can set up all of the old consoles with like your old cartridges and games. You can edit the posters on the wall, bedspreads, everything, and then it's like you're literally back in your 90s bedroom. It's really nostalgic, super cool.
It is. It's really, really good. And there's MUVR, and then I'm trying to remember the name of. I tried this other experience that's native to the Quest. And right now it's escaping me, but it's called Joy. There was another
one that he did where he was playing NES games, and then they were like 2D but 3D, and like he could almost.
Was that by the same guy?
That's Sen 3D, right?
Yeah.
That I haven't tried that yet, but I want to.
That's really cool.
That is where it's at.
I killed Bowser in Super Mario Bros. 3 in there. And I still remember that, like, very
It's so good because it completely 3Ds.
Did you use the flutes, or did you go all the way through?
No, I used flutes. I got through there. Yeah, I didn't have all day.
Yeah.
You got to flute it.
Yeah.
But I really want to get into that Emu VR and like play some multiplayer games. Classic, like Jay Dunn talking about how his favorite games are like Sonic 2 and Mortal Kombat. I'm like, bro. You don't understand how much I love those games. Like, we should get together in VR and play them together.
Yeah, because now you can get in there with friends and you can hang out. And you can play multiplayer games.
That's what I want to try with it. I haven't. Apparently, you can invite a buddy to your room and you guys can be playing different consoles on different TVs. That's insane.
And see what each other are doing.
Yeah,
that's just wild.
And light gun games are supported
next
now.
level.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. I got to get in there like as soon as possible. Like, that really, really is like right up my alley. Like, I love that stuff. That's like my era of gaming. It's like
they do a pretty good job on the website of walking you through the process step by step, because there's a lot of like file downloading and putting it in the right places and stuff. But I didn't have too much trouble with it, so you could do it easy.
Well, that's what I'm taking away, if anything, from today's episode, is that I need to get into that as soon as possible.
Get in there. Get in there.
And I challenged Jay Dunn to Mortal Kombat 2. And I hope you're ready. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I'm gonna bring.
Who's your main character?
Scorpion.
I'm a Sub-Zero guy.
Yeah, I like Scorpion. I like to get fancy with that teleport. Get people out of their flow. Oh yeah,
the teleport will get you.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, I'm all about it, man. If you're out there and you think you're good at Mortal Kombat 2, feel free to hit me.
And if you want to play, if you don't have a PC for MUVR and you want to play some really good emulation on arcade cabinets on your Quest 2 locally, there's a game called Age of Joy, right? And they built an arcade where you can then import your own MAME ROMs into the cabinets, and then they have cabinet packs, which completely reproduce that entire cabinet, and so you can build an arcade in there with all of these really cool games, these old retro games, and it's a fantastic experience on the Quest 2, and I would highly advise checking it out. It's on SideQuest, which SideQuest, we love SideQuest, right?
Yep.
So go ahead and check that out as well if you're a retro gamer and you like emulators.
Dude, in Altspace, in one of the failed to render comedy rooms, exists a Between Realities arcade cabinet.
Yes.
We need that.
Yeah, we do.
Before Altspace closes, we need that.
Yeah, we should.
Is there a way? Like, there must be a way that we can,
I'm sure
pluck
Kyle has the files.
out. Yeah, and give it to us, and then we can like dump that into the Between Reality spaceship in Neos.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, we need to get that thing.
That would be great. Yeah. Good idea.
All right. Well, we're going to start to wrap this up. King Cosmotron, Isaiah, if I can call you that. thank you so much for joining us today, man. It's been awesome.
pleasure.
Just like getting the time to just chill and talk about VR with you. And we really appreciate you joining us, dude.
Oh, it's been my absolute pleasure, guys. Absolute blast.
I am glad you enjoyed it. We certainly did as well. And we'll be following along. There are some links in the description to follow Cosmotron, which I recommend you do because LIV is doing some cool stuff. And if you're out there in the game space as a developer or something and you are interested in LIV, this is the guy to talk to. Yes. So make sure you reach out to Cosmotron for that. Thank you so much, sir. Any final last words?
All I got to say is thank you so much, guys. Everybody tuning into the show today. Thanks for watching and game on, everybody.
Gamertag VR says hello, and we say goodbye. Have a good one. See you later. Get rid of him. He's gone.
All right, he gone.
That's it. Bye, Cosmotron. Nice knowing you.
That was good. That was fun.
Really fun. Yeah, I'm glad we got to kind of dive into some of the stuff that we've been doing this week too.
Absolutely. He has, we all have such, a few of us here in the space have such similar stories. And it's good to connect with people that are kind of doing, on that same path. So
I love it.
Great.
Yeah, I love it. And it's interesting because like I share my story from time to time, like in my job and stuff like that. People like asking me like how I got to where I am, what I've been doing and all of that stuff. And like a lot of times people are like, wow, that's so unconventional. That's like such an unconventional approach. Yeah. But I think that is changing. I think it's becoming more and more conventional. Like I'm watching it happen in our space all the time. Yep. It is really, really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
It's an exciting time to be here.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
So hey everybody, in chat, thanks so much for joining us today, right? Gamertag VR sliding in at the end, CreeperBetty, Roy Boy with his donation earlier, and a channel member, dude. Thank you so much for your support. D1360 VR has been here, and Chris Hanney hanging out and chilling. Douglas K, Game on Scorpio, little infamous Swiss.
Oh wow!
Just a little Swiss,
nice.
Popping up in here.
Heck yeah! One of probably our very first Patreon.
I think he was.
Yeah,
I think he was.
Awesome.
Shout out infamous.
One of my
Swiss.
IRL best friends.
He's the real deal. Yep. Also a little space denizen, a little Cosmos occupant.
Yes,
he's up in here.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Thank you guys
Hussein X and Michelle B and VR Central. Eric Q2C, our homie. Thanks for rolling in here, bro.
Thanks,
Jenna Sequa, of course, and Wes from Virtual Strangers.
Wes,
we just love all of you guys. Tigga, thanks for coming by. What are we gonna do next week?
Next week we have an awesome dude that we get to spend time with at all these different expos and conventions. He has a VR studio called MXT Reality, and his name is Jeff Rayner, and he's such a rad guy, and I can't wait to talk to him about all the things he's doing.
Yeah, we have seen him at many events.
Yep.
And Jeff, he's someone who's actually in our chat somewhat regularly. So if you are participating in chat, you may already know Jeff Rayner. But he is a really awesome dude who knows his stuff in the VR space. This is a guy who has more gadgets and toys and accessories and awesome stuff related to the VR. Like who out there has a Tesla suit? Jeff Rayner. That's who. Jeff Rayner has a Tesla suit. He has it all, and he is the CEO of MXT Reality, who do a lot of really cool stuff in the VR space. So we cannot wait to have him on the show next week. And there he is in chat, bringing on the bromance. That's what I'm talking about.
All right.
Thank you for being here as an audience member, and we can't wait to have you on as a guest next week.
Looking forward to it.
Laszlo216, we see you there as well, brother. Thank you so much for being here. I guess that is about it.
I think so. Another one bites the dust.
Another one bites the dust. Hey, thanks for your patience at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah.
I'm really sad you didn't get our initial intro because it was kind of hype. Like I was having fun with it. It was a little loose, and turns out that a slight technical difficulty slowed us down. But without you guys, we would have ended up with an episode that had no audio whatsoever, and that would have been so sad.
Yep.
So thank you so much for being here, for supporting us, Patreons, channel members, or if you're just yelling at us if we don't have audio, we appreciate you so very much. Feel free to reach out this weekend for maybe a game or two. I kind of got hooked on a little Blaze Rush. Wouldn't mind jumping into another match. Are you going to be gaming this weekend?
No, I'm going to be doing some stuff with my daughter. We're going to go fly some drones and do some cool stuff. And
sweet.
But then come Monday, I will be back at it. And
back in the saddle.
Yep. And then, giving a Neos tour to J-Dun and Joy Rain. And we're going to do some fun stuff.
Is that on the calendar?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Make sure I get that invite.
Okay.
Because I need to be there for that.
Okay, for sure.
All right, Red Slash, Ace, another channel member. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to close it out now. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we will see you in a week with Chef Rainer.
Bye-bye.